Greetings and salutations. So I just was going to do a little video of the mining barge, kind of a showcase, and just show it in action. I reworked the laser head, and I try to keep that asymmetrical kind of appearance to where there's no symmetric uh, layout, but I did widen the head up a little bit to get that spacing correct. Because before it was kind of like a cross. I think is maybe inverted T or kind of a cross pattern, and they were all right next to each other in a line. And so my cut pattern was a little weird, and it did have a good visual appearance to it. And I still need to go back in there and kind of add some of the flair. But now it just cuts really good. And so basically, what I do is I just hop galaxy to galaxy, and I just mine the materials, and and if there's a planet that I want to discover, I'll discover that planet. And this thing's got enough thruster power. I can show you. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to hit Alt. I got enough thruster power, so you can see here at the end of it. Let me roll back. It's got these 3XL thrusters on the rear of this thing, and this thing's on the workshop. It's the miner prospector miner vessel, and I'm gonna build another one, but I wanted something and this thing was expensive, and I'm in the persistent world. I'm playing on a PvP official vanilla server, and so it was expensive, but I'm pretty sure that I've reclaimed all my materials plus 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 plus. I haven't added that stuff up, but I've probably farmed. It was like 9,000 iron. I probably farmed way over 9,000 iron. And if I just go into the inventory here, if I just hit F4 and so it's 15. I can convert each of these into 15 iron. And because I have my solar base, I can easily convert all that raw stone back into iron, and that was by far the most expensive piece of this, was just the iron. And I'm pretty happy with its overall performance. But I am gonna do another build. I'm gonna do another build because this thing has like six generators in it. It has 110 KPU. And for those of you who are not kind of up to date on what the KPU and the PU, it's kind of like a PU is like 1 to 10, or it's 1 to 100. And then once you get to the KPU, it's 1,000. So if they say it's 10.2 KPU, it's 1,200, basically 1,200 energy. And this thing has basically 110 KPU, so it's 1,200 energy. The energy on this is so excessive that it is kind of brought up, so it makes it overly expensive. You don't need more than two generators on this. Maybe three, but most of my stuff, you can see my CPU and or my generator power in the bottom right corner of the top bar at 7.7. And it's hard to justify, even with the shields and everything. It's like 15, 17. Hit the ding, right, and go back to mining. It bumps up 25. It's really hard. I've gotten it up a few times in orbit, like going on the planets, but it's really hard to justify anything more than two tier one generators. Maybe one tier one generator. So this thing is way, way, way overbuilt. And you can see, I'm even hitting max speed. Well, I take that back. I'm at 99. So I finally broke the justification of having more than one XL thruster. I turned the other ones off to save fuel. I turned all the thrusters off, and I turned all the thrusters off except the one XL, and I turned all the generators off except for two. So 7 of the generators are off, and I'll show you because I got time. I'm going to a target that's 8K out, so we'll just hit P, and I'll just go to device, and I'll type in gen, and you'll see like it's so over the top on the generators, and even the gravity generator. So I've been passively thinking about, okay, if I was to rebuild this ship, what would I want? You know, how big of a ship would I want? And I think there's a lot of stuff on this ship that is, I mean, this is kind of, in some ways, this is kind of like an RP thing. I mean, it is really, really,
Fire_Falcon said Yeka.
oh, I got a Discord message. Let me close this out. Okay, sorry about that, folks. So the visual appearance of this thing is awesome, and ultimately widen that head out. I think it kind of took away a little bit from the visual appearance. You know, also that front cargo thing right here, that front head. It's got a storage container kind of integrated in it, and that's how they get their 300. It looks like a Connex or a storage cargo hold there. Um, I like how they've done that. I like the theme of that, what they've done with that. But that cockpit right there where I'm sitting is too far forward. I would like to pull that back like 4 tiles and kind of draw out that a little bit more of an asymmetric, because this thing's got 2 cockpits on it. But I was thinking, if I was to do, I mean, first of all, though, it does work really good. It is arguably one of the best miners that I've come across. I mean, they're the smaller ones that I've found a couple really good ones, but the issue is you don't get to warp. They don't really have much for amenities. Right now I'm carrying around a little combat ship with me, a little SV, a little combat SV. So I have some, if I need it, I have something that I can use. Um, but if I were to recreate this, I would try to get it down toward probably a class 5 or 6, because right now it's a class 8, and there's a lot of expense in there. And I'd get rid of all the generators except 2. I'd get rid of. I think what I would do is, based off of what I've learned from this, I think I would go 1 XL thruster and then 2 larges, or maybe even maybe even maybe even 3 larges. But the overkill, I'm at 62%, and I'm still at 99% max speed. So I've finally tapered off 1 meter per second, like big whoop, right? And then when you look at the justification, so when I max this thing out, we'll see. And then it's got 2 ammo storage containers that are 57, and then it's got another thing that I don't like about it, that is a little crazy, is when you go into the drop down, you see all these cargo chests, right? Cargo 4, cargo 4, cargo 4, cargo 5, cargo 5. And then because they're all named the same, it's like parentheses 1, parentheses 2. I hate that shit. So I don't like to put that many storage units in something, because it becomes more of a hassle to dig through and deselect and change all these storage solutions. Plus, it's eating up a bunch. I would rather just do another container controller. Like right here, they have one, and then where's it at? They got this container controller, and they got another one. There's 2 of them in here. Where are you at? Right here, 2 container controllers. They have the same name, so obviously you have parentheses 1. So if it should just be named 1 and 2, right, or right or left. But because I would much rather go with a third container controller instead of 47 chests and having a menu that you have to like roll through every time you want to do something and then roll back up through. It's just better management, and you can condense this vessel, because there's no need for the scope of its size. I mean, visually it looks, I mean, it's pretty badass. I'm super happy with it as far as its function and how it handles. But if I built a ship, if I could get it to tier size and then just scale it down a little bit, keep the same laser head, I would actually keep the exact same laser head. and because based off of what I've learned, and that's why I downloaded this thing, is I kind of wanted to get like a good foundation of what a prospecting miner would look like. Something that you just don't jump into, and it's this little bitty, you know, hovercraft looking, six square tile set that you. I wanted something that you could just fly up. You didn't have to get out. You didn't have to get into the atmosphere. You didn't have to have. You didn't deal with the elements. You could just fly up, right? Nuke it, just like I'm doing here, and get, within a minute or two, you could have the whole asteroid stripped out, just like this. And I wanted something that I could kind of just hop around and really draw in a lot of resources. Like, just really, and if you're on one of these servers that don't respawn, it's kind of important for you to get to the resources first. And then you tap out that asteroid, and then, you move on. And so because I get so much stone, I don't typically mine the copper and the iron or the silica. I mainly focus on cobalt, neodymium, actinium, and zirconium as my primary, because I can convert all the stone into those critical, those other ingredients, and I still have a ton of it. I still can easily get 4 or 5,000 of each of those just by the sheer number of volume of stone that I'm getting. You can see it's cutting swaths of like plus 222, plus 300. So it's just a lot of resources, or a lot of potential. Yeah, but it was super critical to get that mining head dialed in correctly. I probably could have spread it out just a little bit more, but then it starts to really look wonky, and it's kind of I think it would, for this ship, it would have taken away from what it's capable of. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna. I don't wanna do something radical. I want to try to keep its original design and flavor and theme. I just need it to be a little bit more efficient. And so this was kind of the best compromise. And you'll see. It's right now. It's this thing's on the store. I haven't added it to my workshop yet. I still want to make a couple little changes. Like, I want to the um, retexture the landing pads. Right now they have this weird like air duct texture, and I want to redo them to the diamond plate, kind of like the same way I've been doing the other ones. Just looks so much better. And there's some of the textures are a little redundant, and so I'm gonna try to clean it up a little bit. And but I want to live in it first, and because once you live in something, you really start to have a good idea of what you need to change, what works, what doesn't work. And so right there, you just got to see a good example. I just burned through that copper asteroid within 2 or 3 minutes tops, and now I'm on to the next asteroid. And I've been kind of targeting these galaxies that have certain materials that I want. Like, there's got two zirconium. So let's see here. Like, I've really been hunting down the fuel sources. I've been trying to get as much fuel as possible, because to fill this thing up from scratch, it's 500 fuel cells, and that's just such an expense. So just to kind of as a basis to keep up on. And lately, what I've been doing is when I spawn a base, I spawn it next to the Pindaxin node, so that way I have a readily easy supply of fuel nearby at all times. I mean, worst case scenario is I can fly out there with a handheld laser and farm Pindaxin to get my base up. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I just wanted to kind of showcase this, show it in action, give a little insight on what I've learned. Um, and it's back to kind of stuff I'd like to see them add. The game badly needs, so when you hit Alt, you can rotate the camera around any direction you want. The problem is you really only have two views. You have cockpit view, and you have third person view. and then you have rotate the camera wherever you want to see, which is fine. But they really need to add, when you hit V, instead of just having your two views, that you need to be able to pinpoint other views. So I can hit V and it's the third person. I hit V again and it's looking down. I hit V again and it's looking up. I hit V again and it's looking right. And they just need to incorporate some more view angles into the V key, because it's so hard to maneuver and park vehicles on top of other vehicles, because you end up doing this, right? And then you can't control the ship like this, and so you're veering off to the side, and then you try to look back and you're like, oh wait, the asteroid's over here, and then you get it back online, and then you get back online and you're like, okay, let me try to land this thing again. You hit alt, and then you're like trying to move, and the ship's still drifting sideways. You're like, oh no, I got to come back. So the view angle badly need to be refined. Badly need to be refined. So I've posted a few topics on the Empyrion forum. I would really appreciate it if you folks went and kind of chimed in. You know, if you agree or disagree, I don't care. Just go chime in. You know, if you think I'm stupid, tell me I'm stupid. I got you. I'll adapt and overcome. So just have an active voice. Let me know what you think. If you agree with the view angles, I think that would be the easiest thing to add to the game, is just kind of refine some of those view angles, and I think it would increase the immersion level significantly. And if you could tether your view angles to blocks, it would greatly improve the immersion level and landing and interacting with other ships and vessels. But as always, thank you for watching, and always use your active voice. All right, goodbye.